What kind of fucking bullshit is like?
Dude, he does this every week.
The bad news is that civilization is crumbling around you.
Wear a dog mask, cut your dick off, bomb Palestine.
The good news is that you are not alone.
There's butthole shaving videos.
Feel bad for the minorities in LA for having to deal with the white people in LA.
You have 5 till midnight, live every Monday at 8 p.m. where you join 5 Limp Bizkit Americans to laugh at the absurd nonsense of the end of history.
Shit show right there.
Sam, stop it! Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite, 5 Limp Bizkit Americans, although we only have 3 today, shooting the crap on a wonderful Monday night. But this is not just any Monday night. We are the day before Christmas Eve and 2 days before Christmas. So hopefully everybody, while you're listening to this, if you're listening after, hopefully you have a wonderful Christmas and enjoy Christmas with your family and your loved ones, and Santa brings everything that you want. Anyways, Adam, Sam, how are you boys?
Shut up, dude. Seriously, you spent 35 seconds talking about Christmas? Bah humbug, motherfucker. Christmas sucks. It's a bullshit-ass commercialized holiday. They have no Jesus anymore. They got all these goddamn bullshit songs. Like, oh, it's all I want for Christmas is you. How about you talk about Jesus, Mariah Carey, you dumb bitch?
Man.
Hey, for the
I
longest
have no idea where that came from, but that's how I feel. Fuck Christmas. The bullshit holiday.
All right, Ebenezer. For the longest time, I thought Mommy Kissing Santa Claus was the dude's mom cheating on his dad, and I just realized, till recently, oh, that was the dad who was dressed up as Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's because you're a fucking dumbass. Let's hear about how Biden commuted the sentences of a bunch of murderers.
Why do you keep moving to your left like we're really there?
That's my other monitor. I just moved them over here. I got a 2-monitor setup because I'm not a fucking amateur like you, Adam. Let's go. Who's in the comments? Where you at, JC?
I love this. I absolutely love how Sam always yells at us not to swear in the first 30
Yeah, I know.
in the first minute, and he just let a whole bunch of F-bombs fly. You know what? I can respect it, though, because he didn't even hesitate. So
let me say the F word then more. God.
Dude, okay. Number one, I forgot to tell you guys I loosened the rules on YouTube. But number two, that's a slur. It's different.
Fuck.
God damn it. You still can't drop the F slur. You can drop the F word. You can drop fuck. It's still not too much, but...
You should have spoke faster when I was about to... You knew I was going to say it. You know I was going to drop it.
Yeah,
but if I interrupt you, even if you interrupt me, you yell at me about stepping on your jokes, and you're right, so I don't do it.
Can you say, can you say Hitler now, or no?
I think that is okay. I wouldn't, though.
The F1 isn't crazy.
I think that's word. I don't know, man. No, I wouldn't say either one. It's better to just stick with Decepticons and the H-Man, mid-century Germans, the Austrian painter.
We just say that because it's funny.
Yeah. It's also fun to come up with creative ways to get around it, and it still means the same thing. It's so stupid.
Yeah. So the Biden commutes, I'm going to be honest, I've been a little unplugged from a lot of stuff. Some personal stuff went on over the weekend, not a big deal, but I briefly read through some of this. I know the 3 big ones were the one dude who shot up the synagogue here in Pittsburgh.
Those are the 3 that didn't get commuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So
there was a boomer on my Facebook that was freaking out saying that Biden commuted that guy, and I'm pretty sure he just wanted to say that Biden's anti-Semitic, and I don't know if I could handle that. I don't know if
Biden being anti-Semitic is insane.
I don't know.
His cabinet is the most Jewish cabinet in history.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle any more people saying that Biden wasn't tough enough on Israel or wasn't tough enough on Gaza and was anti-Semitic. I don't know if I could.
I've never heard that. I didn't know that was the thing people said. That's crazy.
There are plenty. Even Tulsi Gabbard was one of the ones that was saying that Biden is too scared to be, to go hard enough on Gaza. So there's been a lot of retardation going around.
Weird. What's up? Sorry. Who's here tonight on YouTube? That's all right. Who's here?
Didn't he pardon a Chinese spy that had a shit ton of CP on his computer?
Yes, but that was one of 3 Chinese spies that were, I don't know why they did it this way, but it was part of a prisoner exchange. So they were I don't have a problem with that. It was like they and the CP, I assume, like number one, it's not our problem because not only were they pardoned, but then or maybe commuted, but then they were immediately deported and they're not allowed to come back to the country. And
Okay.
we got our people back. I don't know who the Americans were, but it was a prisoner exchange. So.
Yeah, Kim Iverson talked about this a little bit, and I didn't see that covered. A lot of people reasonably looked at the whole CP deal and said, "Oh my God, look what he did." But though, given further context, that kind of makes sense. And then not only that, you have to imagine that the CPC is probably going to be a little bit more brutal than the American government on stuff like that. So
I assume that the CP was part of like a blackmail thing as an espionage agent rather than her being an actual PDF file. That's still one you can't say.
You're probably right.
Which doesn't really make it that much better, but
No.
also like number two, it's like they're out of the country. It's not our problem. They're China's problem. But they work for China. So
Every single time I hear like political prisoner exchange, I think of Air Force One. Do you guys remember that scene in Air Force One where they let the Russian guy out and then they shoot him at the last second when he's running to the helicopter? No, is that just me? Someone has to fucking remember Air Force. Whatever. Go watch Air Force.
I don't watch dumb movies like that. You uncultured. Okay. But yeah, so Biden had said before coming into office that he was going to get rid of the death penalty, and they did put a moratorium on new ones. This is all federal, by the way. It doesn't affect the states. Some states still have it. I think Connecticut still has it, and the reason being they were about to ban it, and then Newtown happened, and everyone was like, "Nah, we got to keep it." Which right, yeah, we got to keep that on the books just in case we get another one of these. We got to keep it on the books for this dude. That's the school shooting of like an elementary school, by the way, which happened. No, I know somebody.
I live in Newtown, Pennsylvania. Every time I hear Newtown, I just think of where I live. But yeah, that's not the famous one.
But what they then commuted the sentences of all of the federal inmates on death row except for 3. And those 3 were the Boston bomber that survived. The Boston bomber that survived, by the way, not only did his brother get shot a bunch by cops, he then got ran over by his own brother.
By his own brother. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing the death picture of him, like just shot up on the street, just fucking run over with like a busted out rib cage.
He also got beaten with a hammer.
Wait, what?
I think. Yeah, like
him and
it
Nancy
was by
Pelosi's husband hanging out or something.
Wait, when?
I think it was a mini sledge. Like it was part of a struggle with the cops, and there, like it was in the Boston Bomber movie. That was like a dramatization, but I think that actually happened.
I remember them throwing like pipe bombs. It was like a GTA fucking chase scene.
Yeah, it was. That was a great movie. But yeah, that guy, they let that guy stay on. They basically commuted everyone's sentences except for literal terrorists.
Okay,
so
the
it's
first one was the Boston Bomber. Who's the second one?
the Boston Bomber, and then the other 2 guys are white supremacists. That one of them attacked
Dylan Roof, and then
Dylan Roof, right?
Yeah, Dylan Roof, who shot up a church, a black church.
Yeah,
It's a historically black church. They like let white people in. Obviously now. Well,
dude, it was a little white kid with a fucking bowl haircut. They're like, yeah, we're never letting them.
Yeah, that's kind of on them. They should have seen that.
Well, the thing is that the church is historically black, but they do have white people there. So when a white kid walked into this Bible study thing, they're like, "Hey, come join us." And then he shoots.
Hold up. He wasn't just any random white kid. Once again, he was a white kid with a bowl cut.
Yeah,
you look at that kid's face.
Shooter.
Listen, we'll get to the bowl cut. There's pictures in this article. I made sure of it. Guy looks ridiculous. I wouldn't have welcomed this kid. Just so we're clear, okay? White or black, whatever.
So the third guy was the synagogue shooter in Pittsburgh.
Yes, yeah. So it was literally just 3 terrorists that they didn't commute.
Yeah, I think I told you guys.
All very high-profile cases as well, which I think is part of it.
When that happened, that was back in 2018. The Christmas party for the company I worked for at the time, they had somebody who went to that synagogue come up on stage, give this real long speech, and then at the end he took off his jacket, and it had the Steelers logo that said "Stronger Than Hate" with the Star of David up as a blue star. So. People
like Steelers.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm like looking back at it now and knowing everything I know about, the tribe. It's interesting to say the least. But I mean, it was like a
why? What? What are you saying here? What are you implying here?
I'm just saying the worship of
I'm just saying.
the tribe. I'm noticing.
Not
I'm
allowed to ask
sorry.
questions anymore.
I mean, it doesn't mean that this wasn't a terrible thing.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying, um, when they had somebody from the synagogue there and they made sure that it was like he spoke up and all this stuff. I understand, but just like when you look at the 50,000-foot view of it, it's kind of like, man, it is kind of strange.
What?
But, okay.
All right. That's I don't know. I don't really know what your point is here, but that's okay. I'm not going to push it.
It's all right.
Yeah. So those three guys, and he came into office saying he wanted to end it. Obviously, the president is not a lawmaker, right? So like, he can't make that full decision on his own. But they did all of it. But the thing is that like the other people, like even if they're not terrorists, it's still not good. Like they're not, they didn't do good stuff to end up on this list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why did he even do this?
I think it's I mean, me personally, I am not for a government death penalty. At least
Me too.
Yeah, as it stands right now, no, I don't believe a government like this should have the ability to end people's lives. Now, once again, when it comes to the right to self-defense from, a deadly threat, then I do believe in people's right to defend themselves, even if that means lethally. But when it comes to like how long it takes to get a conviction for a death penalty, how often they're wrong in that conviction, I think there's way too much room for error for people to be subject to the death penalty with the government that we have today. And it's always been odd to me that right wingers are very pro death penalty, because you'd think that they would be the ones that would be like, we don't want the government to have that power over the average person. Like that should be to, to something else, just not to the government, because once again, we know how fallible they are. So,
but most of them are like statists. They're not like libertarian minded.
No. I understand, but like, go ahead, Adam.
No, I was just talking about this with Jacob Winograd. It's like, I don't care if they don't execute PDF files, but like, I don't care if they did. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like, if you have all this proof, it's like, this guy has all this CP on his computer, and he was like diddling whatever. It's like, you're like, no, get rid of that guy. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, what are we doing?
Trump had a good, I don't know if it's a quote, but I remember just seeing articles about it where they said that if, foreigners are to unalive or, grape a American citizen, then they should get the death penalty. And to me, once again, I'm against the death penalty as it stands right now, but in a situation like that, I'm like, okay,
right.
Like,
I don't care. Like, I don't care at all.
I'm not going to fight for your right in that. I'm not going to fight for your defense. Overall, I'm still going to say like, the death penalty as it stands today, I'm not for it. But, when you hear about some of the people, and if there is sufficient evidence, then I'm like, okay, I'm not losing a wink of sleep over that.
Well, that's the thing, is like, because we know for a fact that they definitely have put to death people that were innocent. We know that to be true, right? But it's like, again, how many cases are there, especially now with cameras, where it's like, that motherfucker did it. It's like, what's the argument? You know what I'm saying? It's not like the 70s were like, well, we had to put that to get together circumstantial evidence. There's no there's no video cameras. People are now like filming people like murder people on the street. It's like, where's the argument? We just saw him murder this guy. Get rid of him.
Like when it came to the case of Luigi Mangione, because I
don't think he did it.
No,
that's a different one, because it's not clear, right? It's not what I'm talking.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that like there is camera proof that somebody did it,
right?
And they're jumping through hoops. And I know we kind of talked about this a week or two ago, but like, they're kind of piecing things together to say that like, oh, he did it. But I don't know, man, that just, even like the pictures of him when he was taken in compared to the pictures of him when he was out and about and all jacked and shit.
The eyebrow ridge is crazy.
Yeah, it's very suspicious.
Yeah, I would say I'm not I'm not convinced, and I could easily be convinced that the person who shot the healthcare CEO was not Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, no,
I could
for
be
sure,
very
but
easily convinced.
I'm not talking about like that type of evidence. I'm talking about like
yeah,
guy's clearly on camera, like
Right.
his face, and he's just like, bam.
yeah.
You're like, yeah,
Well,
all right.
I
What you doing?
my wife and I were talking about this, I think last night or 2 nights ago, about the video of that large black woman who stabbed the shit out of that one cop. And in that situation, it's like,
Right.
where is the defense? Like, I could forgive
Right.
the first swipe right out the door because, like, you don't know, maybe somebody could be trying to break into your house, what's it called? Like being an imposter. But after he tells you repeatedly to stop and you still charge, you forfeited at that point. Like,
Yeah.
whatever happens to you is on you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, what happened to my audio?
No,
Am I
we
still
hear you.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, I guess there could be a situation where they do it like instead of like civil to criminal cases. There's like a different burden of proof. They could have it so that there's a higher burden of proof to convict on a death penalty. I don't know like what that would take in the legal system, but I would be in support of that. I think I'm still not really with the government doing the death penalty, but like that would make it better at the very least.
I think there's just some cases that are clear cut that we shouldn't be arguing about, and then there's some
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, I get why you wouldn't want to just be like death penalty to this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially with like kids too, because I understand in the situation like Dylan Roof or the guy who shot up the synagogue, where it's kind of like, okay, you have a clear cut case of somebody who just outright slaughtered people. Once again, I'm not here to sit here.
Well, that's the burden of proof,
yeah,
right? It's like, yeah, it's a higher burden of proof.
right.
But like, if I don't know, they don't have something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason they don't do that, but like they have the difference for civil and criminal, but those are different courts. Maybe it would take too much like administrative stuff.
Well, and that's the other thing I hear about the death penalty a lot. Where I know she's kind of a lol cow, but Hannah Cox did actually a pretty good breakdown of like all the costs that are associated with kind of getting somebody to the death penalty. And when you equate the cost of like all the lawyer fees and then getting the government involved throughout like a decade, because it's normally about what it takes to get somebody convicted for a death penalty, the cost to keep them in prison for life is literally cheaper than going through a 10-year attempt at a conviction for a death penalty.
But that's the other thing too. Kyle.
Yeah, that's the
They just
administrative
stop all
cost.
the bullshit like appeal. It's like you get one appeal and that's it. Like that's how it should be. But it's like that's the drain of the fucking taxpayer, right? It's like, well, this guy
Right.
had made his fourth appeal. It's like, no, bro, you don't get to just keep going court to court to be like, well, I didn't clearly murder this family that's on camera and all the evidence is against me. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you, dude. You don't get that. And
But
then
that's the
goes away.
specific process they've created over time for the death penalty, like to make it really hard. What's up, man? How you doing? We got nobody in the comment section tonight. I don't know what the hell. What? Maybe it's because Typo's not here. Maybe Typo's the real draw of this fucking
Yeah,
show.
he probably is. They probably come here to hear him as fucking burst out laugh, and honestly, I wouldn't blame him.
His sweet mustache.
Yeah, the sweet
all right,
mustache and the laugh.
next topic. Greenland won't sell.
Sweet. Yeah, Greenland doesn't want to fucking. Greenland's being a little bitch. There's like 60,000 people there. Give us Greenland, dude. Like, what are we talking about selling? Why don't we just take it?
Okay,
Fuck
so
Denmark.
this is the whole meme where Trump or somebody made a meme of Trump putting a Trump Tower in Greenland, and then he retweeted it.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
not a meme because like it's become a more serious thing now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Which it should be. We should own Greenland, and I'm not kidding.
yeah, why not? Also, I like how Greenland's like it's not for sale. Like you have a fucking choice in the matter. Like,
Yeah, like what? You're not the Vikings anymore, dude. Like we'll
gonna
take you out.
Shut up.
We're America.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
crazy.
we'll just say there's oil there. Maybe they have WMDs. We'll find a way to get it. I don't understand. This is way better than Iraq.
Isn't Greenland?
That's okay, Rex. Thanks for being here anyway.
Isn't Greenland technically owned by the Dutch?
Not the Dutch, the Danish, dude. That's why I said the Vikings.
Ever.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever
Like,
shitty little Northern European country owns it is my point. It's
You're
not
telling me you got 120 IQ. You're a
well,
moron.
You're not as smart as an orangutan. Then that's been proven on stream. So
Dude, just because you read it in an article, I still don't believe that. That's so stupid.
that's what makes you dumber than an orangutan. So who owns it? What country owns it?
Denmark, but they're very autonomous. It's like Denmark technically owns it, but it's almost like the Commonwealth still is in charge of Canada and Australia. Like,
Are they
not
like
really.
the Puerto Rico of Denmark?
No, but they have more autonomy than that. Like, they're basically independent, but yes, Denmark technically is still the ultimate person in charge. But Greenland still has a prime minister,
So
and like
can we
most of the people there they're indigenous. They're mostly, I think, Inuit, but they're like a specific type. I should look that up if they're actually Inuit.
Can we
But
just go around the Greenland process and just go right to the Danish and be like, "Hey, we want this," and they're like, "Yeah, all right," and then they're just ours now. Like they don't get a say. That's pretty funny. Can we do that?
can we do? Wait, what?
So can we just go to Denmark and just be like, "Hey, we want this," and Denmark goes, "Yeah, fuck it, take it," and then Greenland has no say in it. They're just ours now. Is that like how it works, or do they still get a say? Like, is it like a Brexit?
I don't like the Danish would probably appeal to the United Nations for something like that, I assume. And they'd be like,
You offer to buy it, and they're like, "Sure."
well, they don't want to sell it. They've said they don't want to sell it.
Greenland,
It's
or
probably very mineral rich. Both Denmark and Greenland.
well, fuck Denmark. Just take it. Just do
They
what
have
you
a good
got.
arrangement right now. Like it's majority Inuit. I actually thought there was more Dutch living there, but no, it's majority Inuit, a little bit Danish, and some other Nords.
Dude, invading countries. That's fun. We're good at that.
I mean, like, we should invade countries for cool reasons if we're going to do it. Like, we shouldn't be
agree.
invading Iraq.
Nah.
We'll talk about. I didn't put that on the list, but we'll talk about that. That's a good thing to talk
Actually,
about.
kind of goes with this, honestly. Which I was
It
also
does.
talking about too. About like, I don't give a shit if we use like the SEALs to wipe out cartels. Like, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but the problem with that is that like in a lot of parts of Mexico, I don't know how in a few parts the government, the federal government doesn't really have actual control, and if you just start taking out cartels, there's like a power vacuum, and then it's not like it defaults to the government. Other cartels come in, and then cartels fight each other over it, and then innocent people die, and the cartels die.
well, this seems to be.
You have to fix the underlying problems.
You can't. It's broken. That's the point.
Yeah, but you're not fixing the underlying problem by just assassinating people and taking over military control. That doesn't fix the issues that created the vacuum that allowed cartels to take over in the first place. Like, if you look at different states in Mexico, there's 33 states in Mexico, I think. D503, correct me if 33 is not right. But like, some of their range of violence and cartel activities in those states is huge. Some states in Mexico are safer than many cities in the United States, and others are like Congo level violence.
Right, but if the government doesn't have control there, they'll never have control there. How do you even vote the cartels out?
But destroying a cartel, because there's different cartels, destroying one, like cutting off the power of one, doesn't make
No, I get it. It's like the ISIS
any
thing.
better.
I understand. Creating a power vacuum. I understand that. But my point is, though, like, if they've never had control, and the cartels have always had control, or at least for the majority of my memory, what the fuck do you do? All right, yeah,
I don't know what you do, but not that.
But you're never gonna be like, we'll implement real government here. That doesn't work either. Unless you kill some fucking psychopaths, it fucking limits something.
No, D503. What do you think about this right now? What do you think? Like, do you think it's a good idea to just send in the SEALs and start shooting? It didn't work in Afghanistan. Why is it going to work here?
Well, I said I understand like the ISIS thing, but like also, I would say there's more of a stable government in Mexico than there was in fucking Afghanistan.
Well, yeah, absolutely, it's a more stable government than Afghanistan. Like, Afghanistan's government pre and post is like not. Yeah, right. Look, and even the peaceful ports are controlled by the narcos. I mean, if you go back 100 years, organized crime was in charge of the ports in the United States.
Yeah.
Like the Irish mafia
Or
ran
Italian
South
men.
Boston. Yes, Irish and Italian and Jewish mobs. Probably others as well, but the Irish, Italians, and Jews tend to be the ones people talk about. But yeah, we had control back in the 2000s. Like this issue has gotten worse in recent times, not better.
The money of the cartels.
Yeah. So then, like, I don't know how to fix it and remove our current government. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're president.
Problem though, it's like, okay, you remove the current government, okay, and then who takes over? There's a power vacuum, and then a new government that takes over. Everyone's afraid of getting their fucking head cut off and put it on a goddamn car lid, on a car hood. So it's like they're not just gonna be like, no, we're gonna fight the cartels. They can't fight the cartels because they get fucking wiped. But at least if we do decent damage to the cartel, it's also not the same. All right, hold on, I'm gonna push back on the Afghanistan thing too. That's more of like a Holy Land fight for them.
No, it's not. Afghanistan's almost in Pakistan. That's not even close to the Holy Land.
No, I'm sorry. It's more of a religious like fight, not Holy Land. Maybe it was not the right word.
Afghanistan. No, I don't think that's even true.
Invading us, as opposed to Mexico, where like we just want to make money.
No, it's tribal in Afghanistan. I think the tribal aspect is a bigger deal.
Fine. It's not the same as Mexico, though. It's just no way it is. I feel like it's more of a money thing.
No, it's not.
Okay. So
it's not an ethnicity thing in Mexico generally.
Right. So take out at least a bunch of these fucking animals, and then you got less to deal with. Eventually, be like, I don't want to keep getting wiped out by these fucking SEAL teams. Like,
okay, I mean, I guess if you just kept wiping them out, yes, Rex is right. Iraq is a better Holy Land example. What did you say here, Rex? The only reason I'm against SEALs taking out the cartels is because I don't want to deal with the ton of insufferable books and podcasts that will come out of it. I'm so glad I went back to that comment. Let's make Greenland the 51st state just to piss off Puerto Ricans who want statehood. That's hilarious. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
But yeah, here, let's go to Luigi, and then I'm gonna look up the Mexico thing a little bit more, and we'll hop back to it. Go ahead.
So he pleads not guilty. By the way, he dressed the same way as his lawyer. That's weird, huh?
Oh, that's very weird.
Right? They're both wearing like a maroon cardigan with like a white over like collar shirt.
You're gonna see liberals dressed in that for Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's by the way.
Not liberals, leftists.
Yeah, it's whatever, same. But
even though he's one of our guys,
it's yeah, I know. The glorifying or the martyrdom of this guy by leftists is fucking weird, right? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's just leftists, but yeah, it's very weird.
I've seen it from a lot more than just leftists.
Yeah, but I would say it's way more leftist accounts than I've seen than right-leaning accounts.
Yeah.
Either way, the monitoring of this guy is crazy, right? Also, that's a fucking show of force by the NYPD. I can tell you that from experience. Because people are like, well, why does he have more protection than like when he's getting perp walked? It's like because the NYPD wants to sling their dick around. They're like, look, we got him. Look what we fucking could do. Like that's all that is. So don't look too much into that, everybody. That's not that big of a deal. They do that a lot, but
yeah, I'm sure they want to look cool on camera.
Yeah, no, it really is what it is. Yeah, but wasn't he like yelling like this isn't the last of it when he was getting hauled off?
He said the American people aren't falling for this. It was something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Well, that implies that he's saying he's innocent, right?
Or he's part of a bigger like takedown. Like he's part of he's like the Oswald
guy,
Lee Harvey Oswald of this.
Right. I think he is. I don't think he did this.
Yeah,
like he's saying he didn't do it.
Yeah,
and I believe him. I like it. It doesn't look like him in the pictures. I don't know who the hell this guy is. It's weird. He was gone for 6 months. I think there's some relation to this, but
their clothes were different in those pictures that the cops released. Their clothes were different. Like he was wearing a different jacket. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
Like that's weird. And why is
it's very weird.
Not noticeable? Whatever. This whole thing reeks of some sort of fucking bullshit psyop or something, or just a straight political / corporate hit that they pulled off pretty well because this kid's fucked. Like, there's 0%.
I mean, they're gonna convict him.
100%. So I'm saying there's a 0.0% chance this kid doesn't get convicted.
What do you mean they treated the Boston bomber like a heartthrob? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Because he was like,
really?
Oh, yes, 100%. He's right.
That's crazy.
Hot, though. Yes, 100%.
Well, people are saying that Luigi's hot too. I've seen that everywhere.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. This kid's going to jail though, for sure. He's 100% getting.
Yeah.
Convicted.
I mean, he is. Yeah, I don't think he did it, but he's definitely going to jail.
Someone on my Twitter had pointed out that Lee Harvey Oswald, funny enough that you said that, was dressed in the exact same way in his picture of his perp walk.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Maybe it's like loan clothes that the police station leaves up.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey,
I agree, Chet.
you killed this this CEO, so we're gonna." You remember Lee Harvey Oswald by any chance? Guy looks around. Luigi looks around the room. No. All right, don't worry about it.
It's also weird because when they perp walked him, it didn't look like he was wearing a vest, which they do a lot in high profile cases now. They'll put a bulletproof vest over the guy.
Right.
So it's like
I
take a shot.
I think they knew nobody wanted to kill this guy. Like, it's not like I think it's good that he did that, but I'm not like mad at him.
I mean, like
weird.
The way that they've explained it in like the articles I've seen about it. It seemed like if he was like of sound body and sound mind, and like he had a reason to do it. If we are to believe that he's the guy, right? Like, his grandparents had issues with the medical industrial complex. He had a back surgery, and he looked into it and was determined to do something about the whole kind of cluster F of the deal,
Yeah. And this comment, think they'll it's Rubenstein. I think his real name was Rubenstein.
It was Rubenstein.
Yeah, it was
Rubenstein, Berenstein. But yeah, maybe that's why they didn't have a vest on, and maybe they were trying to get it even more like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Charging him with terrorism is wild.
What?
Charging him with terrorism is wild.
It fits the definition. It's a politically motivated attack on a civilian population. It is terrorism.
I don't know, dude. If anything, it's
this is like Patriot Act stuff, but it does fit their definition that they created.
I don't agree with it. I think if anything, it's murder one. It's premeditated murder. That's murder one. That's what it should be. It should be murder one.
Well, you're the cop. I don't know.
That's why I'm saying it.
Well, but I mean, like, murder one is just premeditated murder.
Or if you kill a judge or a federal employee, actually, also is murder one too.
Oh, really? Even if it's not intentional?
I think so.
Oh, wow. I
think okay. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Also, terrorism is murder one, also, which is weird. So they threw it all in one umbrella. I don't know, dude. It is anti-Italian discrimination. Thank you, Keebler.
Okay, so don't ask me why I looked this up, but do you want to hear something really interesting that I just found out about Jack Rubenstein?
Sure.
He served in the armed forces during World War II.
Okay.
Is that it? Everybody from that era did. What do you mean?
No, but like the fact that he killed that. If you think about JFK, right? JFK wanted to get Israel to register with FARA and wanted to basically inspect them for nuclear weapons.
Right.
And that would have cut off a lot of. That would have made.
I understand the theory, but what does that do with him serving in the military?
Just that he really believes in the whole World War II narrative, right? So.
Or he was drafted like a lot of other people were.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That too.
I mean, Vietnam, right? It's like we don't want to go there. They're like, well, here I am. I'm in the fucking jungle now, fighting fucking Charlie. Anyway, this guy's fucked. So that's my analysis on this guy.
They gave Derek Chauvin first degree murder. I didn't know that.
No way.
No, they didn't give him first degree murder.
No way.
I think he did only get second degree, which makes sense.
I mean, does it? But
No,
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
no,
well,
but based
so
on the narrative, yeah.
there were two different autopsies though for George Floyd though, which is kind of funny. The original autopsy was done by a guy named Sean Baker, and he had actually said the death was from a fentanyl overdose. They didn't say it was from I think they
Right.
said the term is excited delirium. They said it was from a fentanyl overdose, and then they had a second autopsy done that said it was the knee on the neck that killed him.
Mm.
But once again, I tend to err with the first autopsy saying
Same.
that it was a fentanyl overdose, and that something should have happened to Derek Chauvin, because I mean the dude was cuffed. You had other cops around you. You didn't need to have your knee on his neck for 10 minutes, but
It didn't kill
he
him
was on
though.
fentanyl.
This is no fucking.
it didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But like I said,
It
something
could have exasperated it. Like the people who are at least honest about the autopsy are saying like, yeah, he had fentanyl, but like maybe he wouldn't have died if he didn't have like a knee on his neck for 10 minutes. And I don't know, that could
Exactly.
be true.
Yeah, and that's
But the other thing is more important than that is that like that was the policy of the police department. So maybe we should
it was
like that's the police department's fault at that
Yeah.
point. If
Well,
that's what you're
I'm
telling, if the
saying,
cop's
like-
just doing what he's told by
Yeah,
the cops,
Exactly.
I don't think
Technically,
I
he
don't think
shouldn't have
Derek
been.
I don't think Derek Chauvin should like spend the rest of his life in prison, but I think there should be some kind of, I don't want to say even like a termination, but some kind of serious kind of punishment to him for some period of time.
But
No-
again, that
nothing
was a
like
political
crazy.
hit too.
Yeah, exactly. That was
those
some-
other cops who weren't even touching him went to jail. I mean,
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. But if you consider it like a homicide, then they're still accessories if they're like
Okay,
standing around.
Exactly.
Hold on. Homicide, by the way, just means dying of not natural causes. By the way, people think homicide means murder. That's not true.
I thought it did.
No, homicide
know
means
that.
you just die of not natural causes.
Dude, I'm learning so much like these last 2 days.
Okay, I don't know how we got on Derek Chauvin, but JC, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, it's late.
Man, the myth, the legend.
Dude,
Hey,
this case is insane.
Yeah.
This guy, he
He's-
just
okay,
lit a
so-
woman on fire.
I have not followed this at all, so
We definitely cannot show the video on YouTube.
No.
way. Yeah, there's no way.
I don't want to watch it again. I disgusting. Sebastian
mean-
Zapata.
Again, illegal immigrant, close the fucking borders. I don't give a shit what that makes me. I'm sick of seeing this shit, dude.
Dude, Guatemala did not want this guy. Like they're not sending their best. That's what they say.
Exactly. I mean, by
by
the way, also, who fucking was saying? Oh, I think it was Buddy. I was talking about this on Twitter when he was like, "How the fuck did he just light this woman on fire with a match when I can't even like light a fire with like wood and like like try?"
He didn't he didn't put anything on her. I thought he put like lighter fluid on her or something.
I don't know.
I didn't look into
was
it
just
too
a
much.
match.
'Cause
It's wild.
obviously, it freaks me out. But
yeah, that's fucking crazy. But like, people are like, "Why didn't anybody do anything?" I don't know. Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
like
there
she
you
was
go.
already on fire. What are you
Yeah,
supposed to do?
You could throw her down on the ground and kick her. Honestly,
Yeah,
It didn't look like there was anyone else in the car. I don't know. The video is
the cops
incomplete.
that kept walking past her, just looking angry. Probably.
I mean, what the fuck are you doing on fire in the subway? What the fuck's wrong with you? But no, you're supposed to. My understanding is you're supposed to stop, drop, and roll. So like,
you are
in
definitely.
theory, somebody could have came over and like stiff armed her, or
Yeah.
tackled her or something, and rolled
Pull
around
her
on the
down and
ground.
just fucking push her around. Try to hit her with the coat.
I mean, yes, she probably would have got hurt, but at the same time, would you rather be hurt or would you rather be dead?
So I'm gonna
Those
say,
are your options.
well, I mean, so people were bitching about the cops not doing anything, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. As a former NYPD officer, two things are gonna happen. One, they're gonna Geo 15 those guys, which means they're gonna bring them in for a formal investigation to be like, well, because it's such a big deal, right? If this didn't hit the papers, no one would give a fuck about this. Well, because it did, they're gonna have to do something about it. So they're gonna ask those cops like, why didn't you? And then the PBA is gonna have the lawyer there, and they're gonna be like, just say you're in fear of your safety and you don't want to get involved, and it's gonna go away. So like that's what's gonna happen there. Reality, those cops should have just dragged her down and like just stomped her out.
How was she standing up? It's
Don't
just
know.
insane.
That's actually crazy.
Why did I even put this on the list? Like this is just awful.
Well, no,
This is
well, I mean,
all around terrible.
It's interesting to talk about though, because this guy should be again talking about the death penalty right here.
Yeah. I mean,
Right,
this
what's
guy,
the
you can't
fucking
let
point?
this guy be around anybody. Like, this is insane.
Is any one of
I-
you in this panel going to be like, no, well, the state can't put this guy to death? Why? No, like,
Yeah.
fuck, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. He's on camera doing it. That's all the evidence we need. There's no circumstantial evidence. We see him doing it.
And he just sat down and watched her burn alive. Like, what the hell, man?
You remember a few years ago, the guy who went around, I think it was, I wish Luke was here. He would probably remember this. A guy who was in Arizona just smashing homeless people's skulls in with a hammer.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Like at nighttime.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
What
he was just
the
going
fuck?
around, and how the cops caught him was they set up a fake homeless guy, like a dummy, and they were just monitoring the dummy, and the guy came over and smashed the fucking dummy, and they fucking got him.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know what my point
What
was.
an idiot.
Oh, right, the guy was clearly the one doing it, so like get rid of that guy. Like we don't need any more circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Did
saying?
they arrest him then, or did they kill him?
No, they arrested him because it was a fake, it was a dummy. So they just
Right. But it's like the guy still has a hand. I don't know. Like,
No,
obviously, the
he
cop's
just
going to put
got scared,
himself.
like, ah! Oh, the cops came out of nowhere. Like, got you, bitch.
Yeah, he was attacking sleeping people with a weapon. He's not going to take on cops. Cowardly, weird
Exactly.
fuck.
Yeah. So, crazy times. But fuck this guy. Yeah, send him. Also, extraditing him means nothing. Just get rid of him.
Oh, don't extradite him. Yeah,
Thanks,
no,
you
like, just
extradited him, right.
this guy does not need to be alive.
No.
And I'm saying that as somebody who doesn't support the death penalty.
But I do in certain cases. This being one of them.
That's the problem. God, I picked the worst things today.
Yeah, you really are going all over the gamut here.
Just, and then a guy like drives in to. They describe him as an anti-Islamist based on like one tweet he sent out. Like, this was like an ex-Muslim, Zionist, anti-Christian, anti-German. Like, his ideology doesn't make any sense. It's a whole mesh of everything.
This goes back to the whole immigration thing, though, just with Europe. They're
Right.
letting in boatloads of people that should not be there.
Germany, the more I learn about Germany, the more I think about Germany. That is like the most cucked nation, like against their choice
Yes.
in the world. When you learn about
Yes.
World War II,
Yep.
the Treaty of Versailles, and just how how brutally the US put upon Germany, and then now thinking about how much money Germany sends to Israel, and then
Yeah.
how Germany's taking all these immigrants, it's like, man, they're asking for another 1940s Weimar Republic, like they're begging. I'm not saying it's going to be right or wrong. I'm just
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's like these are the conditions that create something like that, and that should be avoided because that's not good.
Exactly. Well, and once again, it goes back to Buchanan's book, Churchill or Winston Churchill,
Piece of shit.
Churchill, Hitler, and the Unnecessary War, where this was completely avoidable, and Churchill at every single step took steps to make sure that it happened. So,
And so did FDR.
Exactly. Who were
Just so we're clear, Hitler's H-man, Austrian painter, is also a villain. Like, he's not good, but but Churchill is also a villain. Churchill is not a good guy, and he never was.
The Austrian painter a few times reached out to Churchill before war started, being like, "Yo, let's make a deal.
Exactly.
Let's talk it over." And he's like, "Nope."
Yeah. Well, and exactly. So at a certain point, I think it's fair to ask, who's the chief villain here? The person who reacted after being kicked in the teeth for years and years on end, or the people who made sure that it would happen?
But what's the reaction?
Exactly.
Being kicked in the teeth and then setting somebody on fire? Like, that's not rational.
Nobody's justifying it.
We literally demonetized their country after we bankrupted them.
Yes.
We fucked them so hard.
Yes.
So they were like, that's what he ran on. And other shit, but that was one of the big ones. He was like, remember that? Remember what these fucking
I don't think anybody on this panel here would condone anything that happened,
no, that's what we're
1940. But
No.
the point is just that
it's not a one-way street.
Who knew that this was a possibility and rejected every chance at diplomacy are definitely the chief. I mean, this is the perfect example to go back to Joe Biden himself. His foreign policy the entire time has been absolutely zero diplomacy. It was kind of funny when I had Joe Terwilliger on, who's may or may not be part of Trump's envoy in Team North Korea. We're waiting to see. It's
vegan? What?
starting to look pretty good, but like Hitler or H-man was a vegan.
Right. Okay.
But basically he was saying like on the way out he took a trip over to Iran, and on his way back they were like, oh well, now that Trump's not going to be in, like diplomacy's off. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like Trump was super hard on Iran, and he was, but he's like, oh yeah, with Joe Biden it's going to be even worse. And they're right, because Joe Biden is
Right.
completely beholden to a certain country
Right.
over the Middle East, where I mean, on top of that, it's not just about Israel, it's also about the fact that Joe Biden just is not a diplomatic president at all. So once again, who's bad, the person that avoids diplomacy at all costs, or the people who finally lose their mind? I mean, both people are bad, but somebody who has foreknowledge and continues to just let things get worse, I have a lot more cynicism towards that person than people reacting.
Yeah, there's also like the person with more power has more responsibility. And Churchill and like the Western Alliance, the Allies, just like with Russia, we have more power, we have more responsibility. So it's like that I think is more important in the case. It's like they were the ones who had the choice of how it went down because they had more authority, even though that wasn't obvious at the time. But like Soviet Union, United Kingdom, and the United States together, as well as the entire British Commonwealth, that's more power than Germany.
Right.
All put together. Right. So there's more responsibility there. And also, like, if you go back to 1918, 1919, Treaty of Versailles, the people in the position of power are the British and the French, who are putting on these, like, they're the ones in the position of power when Germany has an unconditional surrender. And they're the ones who put in policies that would completely destroy Germany, not out of anything other than revenge and vindication.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what it led to. And also why I blame like Western diplomacy for what's going on with Russia, because they gave them very little choice. You don't corner an angry dog, and that's what they're doing to Putin. That's what they've done to Putin. And that ends with an invasion of Ukraine, which I obviously don't want to happen, but anybody one-dimensionally blaming Russia for it is an idiot.
Lying.
They're
right. Well, the whole thing Scott Horton's been fighting about on fucking all these shows he's been going on, right? Like Piers Morgan stuff, where he's like, no, I'm not saying Russia's good. I'm just saying we provoked them. And the people are like, you don't know anything.
Yeah, you're a Putin puppet. You're this, you're that. And like one thing that I want to make clear to people, especially now that Trump chose Elbridge Colby to be a part of his whole foreign policy team, we're doing the same exact thing to China too, between Taiwan, Australia, Japan, South Korea, all these countries. They're really doing a lot to make sure that, once again, we're cornering a dog. We're continuing to isolate, big powerhouses of countries ever since the pivot to Asia back in 2011. We're doing everything we can to corner these countries and really incentivize the two biggest, competitors in the entire world to link up against the U.S., which will eventually come back to bite us in the ass.
And they're not natural allies, and it's not even. It's not. They never have it. Like they share land borders. They fight over sovereignty over the same like Central Asian people. Like you could easily make Russia and China hate each other if you didn't push them together. And with China, it's even worse than Russia because they're not a cornered dog. They're a cornered fucking dragon. Like they have much more military strength. They have much more numbers. They have much, much stronger economy than Russia. Like people are like, they're just underestimating China and what they're going to be capable of. It's terrifying. So like
the thing with China's military though, is that it kind of is a little bit of a paper tiger because like they spend, I think it's like 40% of their time.
Paper dragon, paper tiger is India.
Sorry, paper dragon.
Oh yeah.
In Oregon.
No, that's literally that's what they say. Paper tiger or paper dragon.
Yeah, well, they spend, I think it's like 40% of their time just trying to indoctrinate their own military, which like you could debate how well that works. A lot of their stuff is like old, it looks nice, but it's not really going to run all that good. And really, I mean,
but their technology is insane and their Navy is growing a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, they also don't really have the ability to project force. And if they ever wanted to come over here, which just that is never going to happen.
Never going
their ability to do that is so limited. The only way.
Well, no, I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about the South China Sea and how we're still trying to project power into the South China Sea, which is so far from us, and protect Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. Which I mean, what are you supposed to like? Taiwan is a lost cause, probably.
Yeah,
here's how we get on China's good side. We nuke Japan again.
Yeah.
Oh my
Taiwan-
god.
No, well, we wouldn't leave Japan because right now we're trying to basically use Japan as a giant military,
This is showing that we're
unsignal
cool.
military
Be
carrier.
like,
Yeah.
we're no, see, look, we're cool.
Yeah, bro, we're cool. We're cool. Those slant eyes there, don't worry about them. We got them. Let's go.
Fuck.
But no, Taiwan's only 70 miles off the coast of China. So Lyle Goldstein has done like military games on this stuff where like within the first month we lose 3,000 men and women, and they bomb the shit out of our aircraft.
3,000. That's it.
The
lot.
numbers were brutal. Yeah, I mean 3,000 people dead in a month.
That's a lot. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
It's going to be way worse than that. Is
Well,
that
I mean,
just
I'm
our
not just-
casualties?
Yeah, that's just our casualties.
I feel like it would be worse. Like you hit
Also, like,
one
Taiwan- yeah.
aircraft carrier, it's 3,000.
Taiwan's a very defensible island though, because like the terrain surrounding Taiwan.
All islands
you're
are
not-
defensible. It's hard.
Well, Taiwan specifically.
It's
because, like,
especially defensive, and they
yeah,
have huge coastal
I know,
defenses.
yeah.
exactly. So they have a lot of coastal defenses. The terrain to get onto the islands very, very rough and rocky. And there's only like 2 times per year that the weather's like clear enough that China could actually do this. But I mean, on top of that, like Taiwanese people and Chinese people do look at each other like family. Like they go back and forth from the island to the mainland a lot. So
Wow, it's almost like they are family. It's almost like the real name of Taiwan is the Republic of China.
exactly.
Pull up that
Exactly.
comment by Millmark.
Yeah.
George Bush killed 3,000 Americans in one morning. That did happen.
That did
Oh,
happen.
Son of a bitch.
That did happen. Facts.
Mm. I have a very boomer German friend, kind of lefty, and he can't understand what's happening in his country. Yeah, like we were saying
I
earlier,
mean-
dude, it is a recipe for
Yeah.
something like that. If you continually force people to accept things that they don't want to accept, especially like, you think about Germany and it's like German pride, right? Like people have a pride of their country when it is largely homogenous, which I know people are going to freak out about that, but like, if there's a certain culture and a people and, large amounts of that culture respect that culture, then they want to preserve it. And when you have as we call it, the global homo order, basically telling people you have to accept this, eventually people are like, no, fuck you. We're not accepting this. And we'll do whatever the fuck it takes to get rid of it at all costs. And really,
Scary
once again,
shit.
yeah, it's fucking evil for people to push people to that point. You shouldn't have to push people to that point. There should be diplomacy along the way. But once again, the German leaders and other world leaders are doing everything they can. And let's be honest here, non-governmental organizations are doing everything they can to stoke tensions.
Did you guys see that video of a bunch of North Koreans getting decimated by fucking drones in in Ukraine?
No. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Wow.
they had like the whatever drones. I'm talking about like the fucking FPV drones, whatever they call them.
Dude,
And,
modern war is scary.
it's crazy,
Yeah.
and they're just North
Postmodern,
Koreans
I guess.
in a snowfield, just getting fucking obliterated by drones. I'm like, yo,
Oh,
fuck that.
Well, yeah. So like the U.S.
Okay.
military, like everyone, I'm sure you guys have seen headlines about them talking about how China's developing all these drones. The U.S. has been doing this for years, and specifically like these drones, they've said that like their goal is to have a giant droid or a giant drone swarm to surround China in the event of a war between China and, the U.S. over China and Taiwan, the U.S. over Taiwan versus China. Like they've designed these drones specifically for that. So like the drone technology is already here, man. It is fucking scary.
Yeah, no, it's fucking wild, dude. Just watching so many people die from drones is honestly, it's disheartening. You're like,
Well-
dude, that's what we're gonna send our next fucking kids, sons and daughters to, is a fucking drone war. It's
Mhm.
be happening to them.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's literally like fucking Terminator, dude. Jesus.
Dude, oh yeah, wait, Rex has put up a sick comment. Yes, that'd be fucking sick. Walking mech nukes. That's what we're talking about, baby. I'm all for that. That'd be sick.
Did you guys ever see that video of the robot on like wheels that just like rolls and jumps on stuff?
Yeah.
Like, imagine when they start getting those combat ready. Fuck you.
Oh, all you gotta do is
dude.
put a fucking turd on the back of one of those Boston Dynamic dogs.
Mm.
All you gotta
Yeah.
fucking- like what? Like, how you gonna stop that?
Yeah. It's
like RoboCop aim.
terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Man.
fuck that. Fuck future wars, dude. It'd be so scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, let's wrap up this.
Cool. Very lighthearted episode we had tonight, boys. Had a
Yeah,
lot of fun. Great.
What a way to wrap it up. Yeah,
This
we're
is
all
my
gonna
fault.
die. The robots are going to kill us all. Yeah, we might as well just accept the fucking Elon Musk brain chip.
Yeah.
And become one with the
Neuralink.
machine at this point, so that way they at least kind of look at us as an ally.
Ever hear of the Rocco's basilisk theory?
The what?
It's called Rocco's basilisk.
Okay.
I think it's called. It's AI is inevitable, essentially, is a theory, and that future AI will figure out who didn't help it become like essential, and then kill us. If you were like anti-AI, yeah, it's a theory. It's called Rocco's
Jesus.
So it's like, hey, I'm AI. I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm on camera saying that. So go after that. Go after that.
Just make
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords.
Yeah. Robot overlords, listen, I appreciate you and everything you do. If you could tell me how to get the best videos I can, my wife got me this for Christmas, the GoPro 13. It's pretty fucking sick.
That's pretty cool.
Robot overlords, if you could help me figure this out,
please help us with Robot
shoot
Overlords.
awesome like videos and teach me how to like cook everything in the world, make the best food, and teach me how to work without working. Just let me know. I'll do whatever I can. I'll promote AI.
We'll praise you forever.
Yeah, I'll get AI tattooed on my asshole if I have to.
There you go.
Good lord.
All right, you follow me at Adam Nutter on Twitter. Thanks.
Yeah, follow me on MySpace.
Kyle Matovic on Twitter, Common Crown and Liberty and Health. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks
Merry
everybody
Christmas.
for listening.
Bah humbug.
Merry
Stupid
Christmas.
commercial ass holiday.
Go to the Sam's a Jew. Merry Christmas.
Doesn't mean anything. I'm only part Jew.
I'm full Catholic. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that makes two of us. All right, everybody.
Yes.